Who is the real master of the United States? Is America truly a war-loving nation? This can be proven. It's more powerful than Wall Street, more influential than Silicon Valley, and more capable of shaping America's fate and global public opinion than Hollywood. Maybe you heard about it. It's the military-industrial complex. It turned the United States from the post-World War II savior of the world into a merchant of war. It pushed the United States into countless wars over the past 80 years, wars it cannot win but will not lose. It has drained America from within, and what it fears most is world peace. On January 17, 1961, President Eisenhower issued a serious warning to the American people. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. It was strange enough that a lifelong general warned the nation to be wary of the military and defense contractors. Even stranger, after he said this, America acted deaf, because by then the military-industrial complex was already too powerful to shake. Before World War II, every time the US finished a war, it would quickly demobilize, shut down arms factories, and send soldiers home to farm. This tradition dated back to Washington's era because the founding fathers understood the danger of a large standing army. Everything changed after World War II. By 1945, US forces had reached 12 million troops and hold around 40% of global military expenditure, with merely 4% of the world's population. After Japan surrendered, the US cut its military personnel back to 1.5 million. Then came the Cold War, the Truman Doctrine, the Soviet nuclear test, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the US never demobilized again. As long as the Soviet threat existed, military spending must keep rising. Soon the military-industrial complex had forged an unbreakable iron triangle. First, the Pentagon. Generals exaggerate threat to get more budget. More budget means more power, and after retirement, they get high-paying jobs at defense contractors. Second, Congress. Defense companies deliberately spread factories and supply chains across almost every state. Cutting the military budget means cutting jobs and votes. Third, defense-linked capital, including pro-Israel lobbyists. You know that's Zionists. They use political donations, lobbying, and job opportunities to control Congress and the Pentagon. This created the revolving door. Generals retire, become executives in defense companies. Executives join the Pentagon. Congressional aides become lobbyists for arms firms. Lobbyists return to Congress as staff. People rotate through different positions, keep wars going, keep the budget growing with legalized institutional corruption. Then came the Gulf War, Kosovo War, Afghanistan War, Iraq War, Libya War, the fight against ISIS, etc., etc., all sharing one feature: the United States cannot win them, but will not lose them either. Afghanistan took 20 years. Could the US really not win? The key question here is, if they win war, how do they keep making money? Will you keep your profitable business? Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. Russia still exists, so NATO must stay active. Russia is too weak now. Don't worry, China still exists. Even without war, a threat is enough to justify military preparation, and preparation means profit. Take the F-35 project. In 1996, the total budget was $200 billion. By 2023, it had ballooned to $1.7 trillion. The cost rose from $60 million each to over $150 million each. The engines break often, the coating peels off, the software is full of bugs, and in exercises it is regularly defeated by older aircraft. Yet the worse the project performs, the bigger it becomes. Do you know why? Because Lockheed Martin spread the supply chain across 45 states and 1,300 plus suppliers, which means canceling the project would probably provoke 90 senators out of the 100. It sells the plane to 9 allied countries: Britain, Japan, South Korea, Israel, etc., who pressure Congress to ensure the project is never cancelled. You see, everyone is eating the United States of Zionists except the American people. This is the paradox of an empire. America built the most powerful war machine to protect itself, but that machine now holds the country hostage, draining and corrupting it, dragging it toward a cliff. But in history, no empire has ever maintained prosperity through endless war. Rome was worn down by military spending. Britain was exhausted by 2 world wars. Empires that survive by war eventually die by war. We should learn from history. Until now, Chinese military is disciplined and haven't gone to war for nearly 50 years. Do you think that's one of the reasons China rises? Suddenly, the American people have lost control of the United States and can only watch helplessly as it approaches the age of clubs. Follow me, an Eastern perspective, to see the world.